Deciding on the best anime games for Switch is like choosing the strongest anime characters. It is a very difficult task, so I put it to the test to round up the best of a long list of the best anime games on the Switch. Whether you're a fan of One Piece, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, or something else entirely, there should be at least one game in this video that piques your interest. While not necessarily a bad thing for fans of the anime, Attack on Titan 2, Final Battle involves a lot of fanservice. Within the game, you can assume the role of any character from the series, and the overall premise is designed to fully immerse you in the narrative of Attack on Titan. As it's a much improved version of the first game, there's a great amount of content on offer. From a lovely introduction to the narrative to a chance to take down humongous beasts with your friends, it does well to engage you within the lore of Attack on Titan. I was trying to keep this to one entry per anime for each platform, but seeing how FighterZ is a fighter and Kakarot isn't, I think I can get away with this one. This game is so much fun and is another fighting game that surpasses most other games in the genre. It's so well designed. The combat is fantastic, the roster is massive, and the story mode is enjoyable. Basically, everything you want from a fighter in Dragon Ball Z is right here. If you want to know who the best characters are, check out our Dragon Ball FighterZ tier list to see where they rank. If you're a Naruto fan who wants something a bit more up-to-date than the Ultimate Ninja Storm trilogy, you might want to check out the fourth installment in the series. Thanks to some welcome changes to its core systems, mainly the improved battle mechanics and the great onus on story content, Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto is the most accomplished and enjoyable installment in the series yet. Plus, the Road to Boruto expansion actually adds a ton of content, with new versions of Naruto and Sasuke, elements from the Boruto movie, and a bunch of side stories that lengthen the game. If you love all things Naruto, this fourth installment is a must-have addition to your ninja collection. In Octopath Traveler, players embark on a journey through the enchanting yet perilous continent of Orstera, following the stories of 8 unique travelers. Each character has their own story, abilities, and goals, and players can choose which character to start with and recruit the others as they progress through the game. The game features a unique HD 2D art style that combines retro-style pixel art with modern effects. In Persona 5 Strikers, players return to the world of Persona 5 and reunite with the Phantom Thieves of Hearts for a new adventure. The game features a mix of role-playing and hack-and-slash gameplay, with players controlling characters from Persona 5 in real-time combat against hordes of enemies. The game also features a story-driven campaign with dialogue choices and social elements similar to the mainline Persona series. Though the manga only started in 2016, Demon Slayer has gone on to become one of the most successful media franchises in existence, even passing up the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog and Minecraft in raw sales. This action game is, however, one of very few video game adaptations of the story, so thank goodness it's a good one. The combat doesn't have any features that you haven't seen in similar games, but it feels great in motion, kind of like a slightly stiffer version of Devil May Cry. The action is snappy, responsive, and thrilling, yet we found ourselves banging out the same few combos over time. Even so, you'll probably find lots to love about the action here. The cinematic finishes to boss fights are especially a highlight. We'd give this one a strong recommendation, even to those who don't have any background with the anime or manga. In NIER Automata, players assume the role of androids 2B, 9S, and A2 as they battle to reclaim a machine-driven dystopia overrun by powerful machines. The game features fast-paced combat, deep storytelling, and multiple endings based on player choices. It is known for its blend of action gameplay and philosophical themes. In Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, players take on the role of a monster rider who befriends and raises monsters to battle against a mysterious threat known as the Blight. The game features turn-based combat, exploration, and a deep story set in the Monster Hunter universe. Players can hatch, raise, and ride iconic monsters from the series in a new adventure. An iconic sports manga and anime, Captain Tsubasa has been producing games since the early 90s, some of which have been quietly influencing the genre. Unlike, say, FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer, Captain Tsubasa, Rise of New Champions plays closer to an RPG than a standard soccer game. Not only do characters like goalkeepers have HP, but players with better stats will nearly always win. Along with a fun single-player mode that highlights some arcs from the anime, Rise of New Champions allows players to create their own characters who will gradually level up, acquiring new abilities along the way. In Pirate Warriors 4, players embark on a grand adventure as they experience the One Piece story in a Muso-style game. Players can choose from a roster of characters from the One Piece series and battle hordes of enemies in epic battles. The game features a story mode that follows the events of the One Piece series, as well as a free mode and online multiplayer. Xenoverse 2 on Switch does a great job of replicating the frenetic battles from its anime source material in action game style. It fully understands the spectacle of Dragon Ball, and as such its ultimate techniques are incredibly flashy, eye-catching affairs that will impress onlookers. Better yet, like its predecessor, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, it lets you create a custom character to plunk into the Dragon Ball universe, which is incredibly cool. The brilliantly rendered cutscenes, deep character customization and fine-tuned fighting mechanics make for a title that is easy to pick up but hard to put down. Fans of fighting games and Dragon Ball alike should look forward to picking this one up. Taking place after the main story arcs of the anime series, Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization places the lovable characters in a world bearing striking resemblances to Aincrad. The game takes on a more relaxed feel, and if you're a fan of sword art storytelling, you will be heavily spoiled, considering the game is rich in fully voiced content. Hollow Realization also introduces some smart and innovative mechanics into the Sword Art Online series. Despite being a one-button masher, you'll need to time your attacks well to pull off combos, inflict increased damage, and execute counters. This will soon come naturally, however, as within the large combat zones are plenty of enemies for you to defeat and random events to conquer. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition follows the story of Yuri Lowell, a former Imperial Knight who embarks on a quest to find a stolen Blastia core. Along the way, he is joined by a colorful cast of characters, each with their own motives and goals. The game features a real-time battle system, where players can control one character while the others are controlled by AI. The Definitive Edition includes updated graphics, new music tracks, and additional content not found in the original release. The fact this isn't on our list of the best games like Dark Souls is outrageous, but since I wrote that list, I'm willing to let this slide. Anyway, that's the perfect way to describe this game. It's essentially an anime version of Dark Souls for Nintendo Switch. What's not to love? I can't recommend Astral Chain enough, especially if you're after smooth, challenging, and rewarding combat. More than that, the lore found in this world is fascinating, and the narrative is intriguing. The Pokémon Let's Go Duo is a remake of the original Pokémon Yellow game released for the Game Boy. They loosely follow the original anime structure of Ash Ketchum's journey in Kanto while opening up to offer you your very own adventure. While the game features everything your childhood will remember, there are some new special features. The highlight is the catching system, which is reimagined and takes self-inspiration from Pokémon Go. Catching Pokémon plays a huge role in the Let's Go titles and rewards you with candies, additional EXP, and even a higher chance of catching shiny variants. If you're looking for a game with gorgeous visuals, a fully voice-acted cast, and a fantastic concept, Crystar might just be for you. It is a game heavily inspired by the anime genre and combines its stunning manga art style with even better storytelling. The main story of the game showcases Rei, a schoolgirl who must fight through purgatory as an executor for the demons that oversee the world. The more you play, the more you will discover about all four playable characters' tragic pasts. Please be warned that Crystar also uses its platform to tackle many sensitive topics, mostly those that revolve around mental health. However, it is perfect in the way it deals with this subject. Dragon Ball Z. Kakarot might not do much more than retelling the story of Dragon Ball, but it does that well enough that existing fans will find joy in exploring the world and fighting iconic villains from the franchise. Despite the lack of depth to its combat and a minor internet-based technical inconvenience to work around, the game saves itself by expanding on the already massive amount of Dragon Ball lore available and giving fans the slice-of-life moments we've so sorely needed. Non-fans won't find much to love here, but it's a more than serviceable retelling of an iconic story. Placing you within the Grand Magic Games story arc, Fairy Tail is an adventure RPG that utilizes turn-based combat. If you're a newcomer to the series, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the extensive cast of characters and lore. However, the game provides helpful tips and encourages you to get involved in the Fairy Tail world. The game gives you a good sense of control over the characters while, at the same time, the visuals make you feel like you're watching the anime. Coupled with this is the thoughtful user experience. Fairy Tail acts as a faithful adaptation of the beloved anime as well as a user-friendly RPG experience that ensures you'll enjoy your magical journey. And I know Kuni 2 is a great RPG set in a luscious world that's begging to be explored, earning it a place on our mobile and Switch anime games list. You can find many towns, dungeons, and villages on your travels, and who knows what dangerous beings could lurk around the next corner. If you haven't played the first game, don't worry, as this one is set hundreds of years later, and not playing the first won't leave you too confused to enjoy what's going on. In Pokémon Sword and Shield, players assume the role of a Pokémon trainer and embark on a journey through the Galar region, capturing and training Pokémon to become the champion. The game introduces new Pokémon, Dynamaxing, and Gigantamaxing mechanics, allowing players to battle giant Pokémon in max raid battles. The game also features online multiplayer battles and trading. In One Piece World Seeker, players control Monkey D. Luffy as he explores an open-world environment inspired by the One Piece manga and anime series. The game features a new original story, where Luffy must uncover the secrets of a mysterious island while battling enemies and meeting characters from the series. The game features a seamless open world, where players can use Luffy's Gum Gum abilities to navigate and combat enemies. In Fate/Extella, the Umbral Star, players engage in hack-and-slash combat as they control a master who commands powerful beings known as servants in battle. The game features a story mode that follows multiple perspectives and a fast-paced combat system with special moves and abilities. The game is set in the Fate universe, where historical and mythological figures are summoned as servants to fight in a war for the Holy Grail. The Re:Zero series first started as a light Japanese novel series. To see it get its own anime show, only to then become a visual novel game, is a true full-circle moment. While the game is mostly interactive fiction and will have you either listening, similar to an audiobook, or scrolling through text, it does well at breaking this up with choices that affect the story, as well as a few mini-games. The cast is fully voice-acted, and if you can make it past the ever-so-corny main protagonist's personality, you are in for a treat when it comes to storytelling. The rest of the characters all share their own charm and enhance the overall world of Re:Zero. The first My Hero One's Justice is a half-baked fighting game with a limited roster, an underwhelming story mode, and somewhat decent combat. Although hardly terrible, the game is by no means good, and it probably will not motivate people to pick up a sequel that, on the surface, looks to offer more of the same. Here is the thing, My Hero One's Justice 2 is indeed very similar to its predecessor, but the sequel also fine-tunes quite a few elements. The combat is smoother and more satisfying, while the visuals are notably superior to the first game. The story is still likely to be indecipherable for non-fans, but this game is mostly for those who are already aboard the MHA train. My Hero One's Justice 2 should have been the first entry in this series, and if someone is interested in trying a superhero-themed fighting game, they can do worse than this sequel. All-Star Battle R, Switch. Aside from Dragon Ball, which in the last few years has gotten an RPG, 2D fighter, and even a Dead by Daylight clone, most anime series are relegated to 3D arena fighting games like My Hero One's Justice or the Attack on Titan duology. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is no different, but that doesn't mean it's not good. While you won't find an Evo caliber fighting game here depth-wise, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R is miles ahead of your typical 3D arena anime fighter affair. It would be a hard game to recommend to someone unfamiliar with the franchise, as without the fan service aspect you're left with a basic fighter with some bare-bones modes. However, for those who adore JoJo, it's an excellent example of how to do fan service right, and one where you can feel the love and adoration of the franchise's 35-year history flowing through every part of the package. In Katana Zero, players control a samurai assassin with the ability to manipulate time. The game features fast-paced, one-hit kill combat where players must strategically plan their moves to overcome enemies. The game also features a neo-noir story with multiple endings based on player choices. In Little Witch Academia, Chamber of Time, players control Akko and her friends as they explore Luna Nova Magical Academy and uncover the mysteries behind a time loop that has trapped them. The game features a mix of side-scrolling action and RPG elements, as players battle monsters, solve puzzles, and interact with characters from the anime series. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, players embark on a journey with protagonist Rex and his companions as they search for the ultimate paradise, Elysium. The game features a vast open world, dynamic weather system, and real-time combat where players control blades, powerful beings that grant their wielders unique abilities. The game also features a deep story with a focus on exploration and character development. So, Did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.